Hello, welcome to Locutors of Trek, Scottlemental edition, the podcast that talks about the people, places, and things of Star Trek. So replicate yourself something green or your synth selection of choice and join us far beyond the stars.
Locutors of Trek.
Program initiated. Enter when ready.
Well, that was certainly an unstable transport.
I feel unstable. I'm all shook up.
Everything looks a little different. This feels like a Scottlemental.
Oh, this is...
Oh, no.
Left
Hello again,
We
fellas.
landed in the middle of a Scottlemental.
It's me, Mr. Scott.
Oh, hey.
This is definitely going to be about the mirror universe. It's so dark in here.
I think it must be.
I always knew you were from the mirror universe, Mr. Scott.
Was it my
Dave and I have beards.
robust mustache?
You
that gave it
don't.
away?
It's
the only thing that makes sense.
It does this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
That and
Here we
your
are.
orange shirt.
here we are, plain simple Tailors, Davin and Dave,
Indeed. Hello. We are the Locutors of Trek.
under the benevolent thumb of Mr. Scott here tonight.
Indeed.
On this Scottlemental. So, Mr. Scott, tell us why the mirror universe doesn't suck.
Why it doesn't suck?
Yeah. What's your opening statement?
Think about okay, so there's a lot in the mirror universe episodes. There's a lot of moments in the mirror universe episodes that you would look at or that you would recall as, I don't know if you call them highlights, but they're definitely some of the more memorable moments in the series.
Okay.
Think about just the fact that you guys are both bearded.
Yep.
Spock's beard, or his goatee,
Mhm.
it's basically a stand-in for any kind of quantum parallel universe shenanigans, and has been for 50 years since that first aired, right? Like for a relatively small body of work that the Mirror Universe episodes are, you've got quite a significant, like, lasting impression across the series. We've seen, how many series have picked this up? 3, 4, I guess.
Oh, goodness me.
Picard
4.
never really did it. Lower Decks
Voyager
has
did
it.
its own version.
Voyager never really did, actually.
They
They
did
did the
Evil
future
Voyager,
yeah,
thing.
the future, the sort
Oh,
of
yeah.
Warship
retrospective
Voyager,
thing.
and the Black Gloves and all that.
But they never did the actual, like,
No.
and it's kind of surprising, right? Because if you think about the series that did and didn't pursue the Mirror Universe, like, the original series got it started. That was a pretty campy show at the best of times. And so, throw on a black goatee and make everybody evil.
Oh,
Okay, yeah. Kind of fits into the overall vibe
Oh yeah,
of things.
it fit into that show. And then DS9, I really don't like those DS9 mirror episodes.
Why not? What is it about them?
I don't like trading my beloved characters in for caricatures. Like, they're all just kind of evil mustache twirlers, and a whole cast of evil mustache twirlers is pretty boring.
That's kind of the point of the whole Mirror Universe.
It is,
It
but
does.
that's why I don't like the
One of
mirror
the
universe.
things, it's diminishing returns for sure, because you're right. There's not an awful lot of depth there. It's kind of very, very loud. Everything's turned way, way up.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't work for everybody. Like, the best actors among them, like Cisco did it well, and so did Chief O'Brien. But like, evil Bashir didn't work for me. Even like the intent.
Jadzia wasn't evil. She was just angry. I thought there were some interesting characters. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here for a second because
Yep.
I agree in some ways on your characterization of like the problems of the Mirror Universe, in that there is a lot of diminishing return, right? Like, you can only play that so many times in one way. Like, they've got to pick a pretty different premise every time they're going to touch on it. Mind you, one of the interesting things is those characters who remain in some ways pretty much themselves. And I guess I'm partly thinking of Rom in the Mirror Universe here, who is essentially just Rom. You know?
By the time they got to, that was the 7th season, right?
Yeah.
That was the one with like Vic Fontaine and Esri was in there too.
Yeah,
Like the Mirror Universe, it's like that's pretty silly.
the Rebel hologram. Like,
That's pretty out there at that point. And it was also more just like clearly comedic. Like there's a pretty funny element to the Mirror Universe episodes in the first place, but they weren't sort of they weren't on their face humorous the way that DS9 kind of got to it at the end. Diminishing returns big time started to hit them by the end there. And I think at some point during that episode, Rom actually like specifically comments like, what's going on here? None of this makes sense, kind of a thing.
I think
he's basically playing the straight man.
Did he break the fourth wall in that?
Yeah, I think so. I think they probably realized like this might be one trip too many.
Well, and he very swiftly gets killed off after that, I think.
Shut up, Ferengi. Breaking the fourth wall on this show.
Even at that, like you think about what was he, Regent or Emperor Worf?
Regent Worf.
Regent Worf, and he's got Garrick on a chain. You think about Superintendent Kira.
Yeah.
You think about Smiley is amazing.
Smiley O'Brien. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Which actually is kind of interesting because he's not that far off either. You talked about Dave's characters in the Mirror Universe that aren't as far off. Smiley he's definitely got a pretty heavy streak of Miles O'Brien. It's kind of like if all the O'Brien Must Suffer episodes all happened to him at once, and this was like the weekend after.
And it just never got better. He couldn't go home to Keiko at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think in some ways that's one of the things that characterizes the Mirror Universe to me, that where Star Trek in the sort of standard universe tries to present a future that, even though it's got its challenges and struggles, and sometimes there's big wars and stuff and all sorts of craziness, it's still manifestly like freer and more joyous and like more fulfilled as an option to think about than what some people might find in their present. And I think that the Mirror Universe, like its overarching motif is suffering, or at least that, you know, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong in that universe.
Yeah, and stay that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, well, you know, that's momentum, you know, that's how the world works. Like, it's just a bunch of snowballs rolling downhill, and they never stopped.
Mechanically, it is very weird, right? That you've got all the same people, the same characters, basically, in the same place, on the same ships, doing essentially the same jobs, just evil.
Now, in the vastness, in the infinity of multiverse theory, that's not so far out there.
No, it's not. But
that's the thing about multiverse.
This is actually something I was thinking about ahead of this too. This isn't the Mirror Universe. Isn't just 15 Schrodinger's cats that have gone one way or the other, and so now you've got
it's a lot of Schrodinger's cats.
Yeah, but that's like one little change. Did I decide to go to university? Did I decide to go surfing?
Well, they
and branching stuff, right?
And that's what the Enterprise one does.
The Enterprise one is excellent. Actually,
it's the best one.
I knew you'd be very, very focused on Deep Space Nine, but
no. Well, Enterprise one is my favorite one. But let's, you know what? Take us back. Take us back to 1968 or whatever it was. What's good about the first one? What's set off this whole Mirror Universe thing here in the TOS episode? The pain chambers, was that what did it? Was it the mustache Spock?
Come on, the agony.
Oh, the agony booths. Yeah.
I think it's the fact that they take it so literally, the Mirror Universe, that
they play it straight in that one.
No, but like the
that
moment,
one's not for jokes.
The moment that they cross over to the Mirror Universe, you get a shot of the Enterprise going this way across the planet, and then there's a little effect, and then it's going this way across the planet. Like it's very, very literally the mirror universe in that case.
That's pretty slick, though. I like that.
There's a lot of little bits there that are pretty slick. There's a lot of very, very goofy stuff. The quasi, well, the Terran salute, let's call it that. And there was a lot of symbolism that probably was more, well, I guess it's still there, but like a little more immediate for the audience in the 60s than it would have been in the 2020s of exactly what they were doing there.
Well, if you take jumping ahead here for a minute, if you take what the Enterprise episode establishes.
I thought we were going back to 1966.
We are, well, because you're mentioning the salute and whatnot. In like how it's sort of like, but it's supposed to be that direct sort of symbolism, because what's different in the mirror universe than our universe is the Nazis won World War II. That's where it's split off.
I thought it was that.
It's what we see in that opening credit scene.
Oh, I see what you're
saying. That's where the mirror universe split off from our universe. That's the one where the Nazis won World War II.
So Discovery spends a lot of time talking about Genghis Khan.
So they
which
do.
Is way before that.
They do talk about Genghis Khan, but I just like they think they.
So I don't think that's it. I think that's sort of like
emblematic instead.
Well, like that did happen in the mirror universe.
Yeah, but it's like everything else in the mirror universe. Everything.
So you think there was like more conquering from Genghis Khan first?
Well, I don't. Discovery said that.
They invoke the name Genghis Khan, but I think they also.
But he's clearly held up as a patron saint of the Terran.
But that's just when he's like, what's her name? Giorgio was saying her name, right? And she also invokes Caesar in that. So she's just choosing all the big leaders.
I think
history,
based on what we like, they never spend an awful lot of time, probably for the best, going into a lot of the mechanics. It's one of the things that I think Discovery erred in their handling of this. But they never really tell you like, hey, this is the moment where they split in two different directions. I think probably World War II went differently. Probably World War I went differently.
Well, if we really slowly broke down that Enterprise intro, we might have our answer.
Sure, but I think I was just looking up something slightly different. I'm going to throw a different, pardon the very intentional pun, spin on this, which is that there's a way in which, because science fiction is always, to some degree, rooting itself in ideas derived from scientific thoughts, right? Like Schrodinger's cat, or the quantum branching notions, or that kind of stuff. And I was looking about when the positron or things like that were discovered. That was particularly in 1932, but I guess what I'm thinking about is the notion of the literalness of the reversal, right? You think about a positron, which is literally just a time-reversed electron, right? So it's essentially a kind of mirror electron in a very literal sense. And its charge is the mirror opposite and all that stuff. In some sense, I guess I wonder whether the mirror universe has always and forever been just different that way. When we talk about
that would be more of a reflection and more of a mirror image, if you really
precisely right, like that. We talk sometimes, or cosmology sometimes talks about the fine tuning of the properties of the cosmos, so that life arises, right? And it's often criticized as a kind of anthropic or anthropomorphic principle. But if you imagine that, it happens that our tuning of this recipe for a universe, which is ours, happens to produce life like ours. There could be one with a very close recipe that produces life very much like ours, but the cast of whose whole universe is
grows beards,
or like glow rather
the
than
good guys just consistently and thoroughly lose.
Yeah, the good guys always lose.
The thing that is really weird about it, and the way that it's handled, is that everything is so close and yet completely opposite. Like the same people, like I said before, the same people in the same place, but everything's evil, and the history is
because those things that people and things that you're talking about are looking in that mirror that Dave's describing, and I like that theory better because it's neater. I like the idea that like everything was like that. Like you're right, Genghis Khan. I mean, I don't know how history views Genghis Khan as far as villainy goes, but
depends on who you are.
Yeah, who you talk to, but
yeah. I think history can agree that he was skilled in cruelty.
Yes.
Whether we think he's a villain or not, like he was skilled in the efficient use of violence, right? And that certainly seems to be a characteristic of the Terran Empire. Thinking back to the Enterprise episode, which takes us to, I think, one of the earliest moments we see recorded is the moment where humans are meeting those Vulcans for the first time, right? And they just attack. And
that's terrific.
See, that's another branch moment.
See, that's one of those outstanding moments.
That's a great moment.
As a teaser, like that whole episode's really good, and we should spend some time talking about it. But
it's too long. It gets less good. But
maybe.
It starts off amazing. I agree.
But the fact that they start with something that's from the movie, from probably the best movie, or one of the best movies.
Oh, yeah.
Very well known. And they play it straight right up until the end when Zephyr Cochrane starts blasting. What a great way to like capture the attention. And then you go into that like reworked
Then it goes into
introduction.
the history stuff.
Yeah. And let's talk about the episode.
Okay.
And the fact that they're able to actually tie it in to the Tholian web with the Defiant going missing, that just is never really, it's just, oh, well, they're gone.
That was a well-crafted episode.
It was
one
really,
of the best
really
Enterprise
well
ones. And
like,
I won't admit to the Mirror Universe episode being one of the best ones very often. That one certainly is. It's the best of them all. Easily, I think.
You mean of the Mirror Universe episode?
Yes, because it is crafting a cohesive idea of not just the episode, but what it thinks the Mirror Universe is and how it played out. Whereas I think, like in DS9, for example, they were just having a bit of fun. They wanted their cast of just like extraordinary actors to play different roles because it would be fun for them, fun to write and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think they really gave too much thought to what the Mirror Universe is.
I think part of the thing with DS9 too, DS9, in addition to having a really good cast, had really good writers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there was something about this that kept drawing them back. Like,
what, they did 3 of them?
I think they did 4 or 5, actually.
4 or 5, no.
Well, they did Crossover, the first one.
Yeah.
They did the one where they dealt with the follow to that.
Yeah, they
did the really
one with Jennifer Sisko.
Yeah, they did the really crazy one with Regent Worf and all of that stuff.
That's the last one.
No. The season 7 one.
There's also episodes
where they come to steal the cloak.
Oh, the Emperor's New Cloak is one of them.
Yeah, that's the last one. You'd think we could have made a list of the episodes. There's like 8 altogether.
Yeah, we could have made a list of the episodes. Well, I can probably just do it right now. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
So go on with your thesis here.
Well, what I'm interested in, so there's 2 parts that are kind of interesting about it. The fact that it's so like different but in the same place isn't what quantum theory is, right? Like quantum. The real world kind of thought, the thought experiment is like, okay, I took the bus today versus I drove to work. And because I took the bus, I met this girl. And because I met this girl, we wound up getting married, I had a family, all this stuff. Whereas if I took the car, I never met her. And so this one sort of branch point can butterfly effect out and completely change where I wind up. It's not that I'm going to then wind up with, well, if you're a romantic, maybe you think this, but the sort of scientific thinking behind it is you're either going to take the bus and meet the girl or you're not. And if you don't, you go on a completely different path. That's not what's happening in the Mirror Universe. Because no matter how many times through history things go vastly differently than we know and have established the way that they work, they still
coalesce to sort of the same thing.
Well,
there's a second part to it too. Sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No.
Hold on one second. I'm going to interrupt you both. You were right, Scott. There is, in fact, 5 episodes in Deep Space Nine.
So what's the one that I
Crossover in season 2, Through the Looking Glass in season 3, Shattered Mirror in season 4, Resurrection in season 6.
Which one is that?
And
what happens in that?
Resurrection is the one where it's Mirror Vedic Barile.
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate that
Oh,
episode.
right.
The Mirror Universe sucks. That's proof right
Well,
there.
a lot
So-
you won't agree.
Or maybe
with this,
it's
but
just
a lot
Vedic
of the
Barile
Bajor
that
focused
sucks.
episodes kind of stink.
Yeah.
It's one of the things DS9 did.
And then the
Poorest
Emperor's
job
New
of-
Cloak in season 7. Yeah. I'm not here for that Vedic Barile episode.
no,
Not here for it.
no.
I was like, finally, Vedic Barile's dead, and then boom, he's back. I'm like, oh no. Sorry, Vedic
The
Barile.
dramatic
No,
return
just a
that
minute.
nobody
One
was
second.
asking.
Tell us what you think of Vedic Barile for a longer period of time.
How about you rank all
Well,
your
I
favorite
believe
Vedics?
the actor is classically trained, and Vedic Barile a complex and well-arced character. That's all I can do. Sorry, fellas. I don't really like most of Kira's love interests. Call it jealousy if you will, but I'm not a big Shakar guy either. I love Odo, except when he's doing romantic stuff with Kira. I don't know why that
There's
is.
a lot of ambivalence in your whole relationship to Kira and Odo here.
I like Kira and Quark.
I think it's.
I'm
Kira.
just still shipping Kira and Captain Baudet. She never gave him a chance.
That's true, she didn't.
Anyway, back to the Mirror Universe Enterprise episode.
I wonder what Mirror Baudet is like.
Mirror Baudet
Reflective.
never
Can't
says
see
it.
anything.
Never says anything. And
Wears a lot of hats.
a very opaque cranium.
Slathered sunscreen on there, so it's just.
In fact, he always hides behind a curtain, and it's soundproof. So it's like Kira actually loves having dinner with Captain Baudet because it's just relaxing, quiet time for her in the Mirror Universe. This all makes sense.
Oh,
Scott, take us back to 1960.
I tried. I got about 2 sentences.
Well,
in and I
try
got
again.
Jumped around.
Try again. I mean,
Let me make my other point
Okay.
about what's weird about this mirror universe.
Okay.
Is that
Good weird or bad weird?
just weird?
Okay.
It's the only time you get people crossing over between them. And if this was like a quantum, like infinite.
What's the
quantum
only time you
universes,
get people crossing between them?
It's these two universes,
Oh,
the mirror universe.
They
and
don't. They don't cross
whatever you
between
wanna call
other
it.
universes.
They don't go to
Now-
the other ones.
I have a scientific proposal for you in for that.
Okay.
Quantum entanglement.
Okay.
Now, perhaps each.
So that's a real thing. That's completely unrelated.
Yes,
like
quantum
a theory.
entanglement's a real
Yeah.
thing. Like you can have two quantum entangled particles. In theory, I don't know if we've ever documented this,
I don't.
but
It's a theory.
yeah.
no,
You know,
the-
but technically,
science
like
anyway.
they transcend time because there's other particle that's quantum entangled could be like
Yeah.
the other complete
Yeah,
side of the universe, and if something happens to the one, it immediately happens to the
I
other.
think
But
that
like, but some form of that, some form of
Mm-hmm.
quantum entanglement, and maybe every universe has this one or two that it's entangled with, or something like that.
sure. I think in terms of the real world quantum entanglement stuff, the largest distance I think over which any properties have been measured as entangled
Hmm.
is about 400 kilometers.
Okay.
The surface to a Chinese space station.
Hmm.
Last year sometime, I think, or maybe in 2020. They've been working on, what is it called? Quantum teleportation, where you induce a state in the other particle.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
For
sure
a while.
Anton just told us all about this.
hello, wonderful person. But yeah,
He
like,
wouldn't- he wouldn't
but
miss.
the trouble is, right, with these things, that entanglement, so far as we've been able to even work with it at all at this point, works at the level of individual particle pairs.
Yeah.
So
So you have to like go
get
macro
what you're-
scale with that.
I get what you're trying to say. That for whatever reason, these two are
Entangled.
intertwined.
mhm.
Like
I mean,
it's like even like in the sense of like, I mean, this is more of a physical example, but how like the Milky Way galaxy is slowly merging with the Andromeda galaxy. Like maybe universes do that, and they're just like slowly kind of like melding into each other.
Sure.
And that
Sure.
could be bad. Like I could take a Marvel Comics like equivalent to that, which they call them incursions, which is when universes start smashing into each other. And it's not good. It's not a good scene.
Right. There's certainly what's his name? Ed Witten, the developer of M-brain theory, I think it's called. or brain theory at any rate, which is a sort of cosmological notion, does argue something like that as a possibility, right? That perhaps individual universes or sort of versions of reality are themselves, and you say, imagine it like you're in a photographic darkroom almost, right? Or something like that. And you could put these all as like transparencies beside each other. And sometimes these things are going to wobble and touch each other. And where they collide, you may get all sorts of interactions, right? Maybe what we're talking about, just as you say, Davin, is that we have proximate membranes to ours that occasionally interact with us, and that one of the points of interaction is the Milky Way galaxy in and around, the Alpha Quadrant-ish. But
yeah, it could be more localized. True. Like maybe,
this phenomenon. Anyway, backing off from Ed Witten.
Well,
there's definitely like a germ of something there, right? Like there's an idea that the mirror universe is playing in that other science fiction has touched on too. Like there's a lot of
multiverse theory, really, when you boil it down.
Well, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And if you look at who did it in small doses, Mirror Mirror stands up as one of the pretty good episodes of the original series.
Yes.
The Enterprise one is
a lot of them don't hold up.
Might be the highlight of the whole series of Enterprise, I think.
It's not my highlight of the series, but it is really
It would
good.
definitely be one of them. Mirror Mirror is the same thing. It's not the best episode of TOS, but it would be in the top 10 conversation.
Top 10 conversation of Enterprise. But there's some great Phlox episodes.
Okay, well, we're not here. No, we're not here to talk about Phlox.
Whoa, Phlox! We're always here to talk about Phlox here on
Mirror Universe.
What keeps those two together? Like it's a one-off. They do it They do it fairly well. There's lots of memorable moments in both of those. They're done.
Better.
They don't
DS9 did do it too much. You're right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good that every series didn't do it, because then we'd be definitely. I mean.
Another thing
now Discovery used it too much. They committed a whole season.
Well, Discovery never saw a shiny object it didn't want to run into
the writers
they
are
also
a pack of magpies, aren't they?
So even like Emperor's New Cloak notwithstanding, there's a definite vein of humor in there, even when they're playing it straight. The fact that
DS9 never played it straight, I don't think.
But they played it straight as in it wasn't like an overtly comedic episode. But there's definitely a bit of humor to it.
It's somewhat meta.
And Discovery didn't do that. Discovery didn't do that at all. It was deathly serious, like everything was in Discovery, and everyone was moments away from crying about everything. That was it's their approach to the show generally, and it's not fun, right? Like the Mirror Universe in that is just so sour. It's
really atrocious. Yeah,
and it doesn't work. Whereas it does work better in other ways.
Their insistence on that approach to telling a mirror universe story, I find is however consistent with that approach taken in a number of recent series. You think about the many scenes in many episodes of Game of Thrones dedicated to the torture of Theon Greyjoy. Right? There's
more
half
than I needed.
half a season where that's going on. I eventually
pretty much a whole season, I think. Yeah.
That or maybe it is a whole season, that they're really just seeing how much they can hurt the viewer before they kind of crack and do something, right? And either change their viewing behavior or what's going on. It felt like a science experiment after a while. And that feel continues in Discovery a little bit for me. That they're kind of they're taking such a sort of rigorous walk through that it's clearly intentional. I just am not clear what their intention, what their intended outcome
was, or the Mirror Universe part of it.
The Mirror Universe in particular. I just wasn't sure what their intended outcome from it was, other than to really demonstrate the badness of the mirror universe,
The only thing I can rationalize is my brain. It was my initial problem with the show. Is they had a great character and great actress in Michelle Yeoh playing Captain Giorgio. Captain Giorgio was an awesome character in that first couple episodes, and then they kill her. Spoiler alert.
Season 1, episode like 3.
You kind of,
but then they realized, well, we have to keep Michelle
this isn't
Yeoh
a
around.
spoiler-friendly show.
No,
Studios of Trek kind of goes into some detail. You need to have seen the shows to get anything here.
Like, I think they sold it to Michelle Yeoh as being something better than what it was. They're like, yes, we're going to make you a captain on Star Trek, but we're going to kill you and then immediately bring you back in this sort of like edgy version of it. Like, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. That's pretty cool. Not knowing that it's like, I don't know. See, the thing I don't like about the Mirror Universe is it's like faux edgy. It's not edgy because it's trying to be edgy. Like it's so
until the end in Discovery, they got that right. Like,
but I'm glad you said like if it's true that like they break the fourth wall with Rom or whatever. That's the perfect kind of like crescendo for what Deep Space Nine was doing with it then, because like again they just ham it up so much and it's sort of meta. Like they know they're just hamming it up. Like they just feel like they're just joking between the actors. You know what I mean? They're just kind of, but if they then break the fourth wall, that's perfect because that's like what they were doing there. And I like that. But Scott, take us back to 1968.
You just looked it up. What was the actual year?
Oh, what was it?
I think it probably was
literally becoming the agony of the episode. Scott,
here's another point to consider for the Mirror Universe. So, like, Star Trek has a lot of off-format episodes.
67. Well. Take us back to October 6th, 1967, Scott.
A lot of off-format episodes tend to work pretty well in Star Trek, right? And the Mirror Universe is very definitely off-format. And one of the reasons...
What else would be off-format?
Lower Decks.
Oh, Lower Decks is great.
Cause and Effect.
What one's Cause and Effect?
That's the one where they blow the Enterprise up repeatedly because they're in a time loop.
Yeah.
It's kind of
off. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that's a good
one. The dinosaur episode in Voyager. Maybe that's the ideal ones. Not
Distant Origin?
Yeah.
Oh, I like
actually, that's the one you were referring to before about, like...
No, the one I'm referring to in Voyager is...
no, you're right. Distant Origin, where
it's just the Doctor...
They went out. Yeah, the dinosaurs just... Yeah, blasted off in space. Yeah. It's but weird that Voyager never did a Mirror Universe episode because they had so many weird episodes. A lot of them didn't work.
It would have fit into that show pretty well, probably.
It is surprising that they didn't. TNG
like
was very like
tattoo,
high-minded, right?
Half-face tattoo for Chakotay.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
Like that is kind of close. It is kind of close. Year of Hell, there's another off-format one that worked really well. Yeah. It's too bad that they kind of wipe everything.
The episode in the casino in what is that? The first or second season of TNG.
The Royale.
No, the Royale.
With the guy that crashed and had a novel, a pulpy novel. That is nice. That's a nice sort of existential. Thing too, right? Because they were trying to help him. And did he wind up? He just died of old age upstairs in his room, or did he off himself to get out of it?
I think he just ended up. I think he ended up just dying of old age.
But like, there's a lot of those off-format episodes that stick out. And the Royale, you remember the casino and stuff, but you remember especially the spinning doors, right? And the void.
And to your point, actually, what I think is the best episode ever of Star Trek history is off-format, which is this one right here, Far Beyond the Stars. That one's very off-format.
Oh, that's beautifully off-format. Yeah,
friggin' fantastic.
So then, and again, part of the reason that it didn't work as well in Deep Space Nine because they kept going back to it. It wasn't off format by the end. It was like, here's our annual trip to this universe that doesn't really hold up to that much.
Mm-hmm.
True. My favorite show did the worst job with it. Well, maybe Discovery did the worst job with it, but then DS.
But again, I think in both cases, the common feature is mining it too much, right?
Yeah.
I really like Scott's point about the rarity of the usage, because the rarity of the episode in Enterprise does a huge amount of world building. Even as you already
Two-part.
noted in the credits itself, right? Like just the credits. There's a world building, let alone the cold open or any of that stuff, right? So the cool thing there is sketching not just like a brave new world or a strange new world, but a new world whose strangeness is pretty chilling, but is able to communicate what's kind of real about it in that sort of single episode format, right? And it's true when you go back to it, the weird, creepy, like sexually obsessed superintendent Kira becomes a caricature where she's this odd, striking take on like a totally disinhibited Kira whose violence is like turned up to 12. In repeated viewings, she does become more of a caricature of herself, you know? And I don't think that's necessarily casting aspersions on Nana Visitor. That's just the way the character comes off, I think, having shown up so many times. You just kind of get used to it.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, and my problem with like Mirror Bashir, for example, is that doesn't even seem like a mirror version of Bashir. It's just something else way off in the woods. Like it's just pirate Bashir. But that the mirror version of Dr. Bashir in my mind isn't a pirate. Or
like a Nazi doctor experimenting on people or something.
Yeah, something like that. Like that uses his genetic engineering for like twisted means, you know. Yeah. That would make more sense. It's like what they were afraid of him becoming. When, you know, why they lock up all the augments. That would have been an interesting character.
So, probably not 5 times in 6 years, though.
No, probably not 5 times.
Again, as a one-off, that would be a cool thing to see.
And that's the strength of the... take us back to October 6th, 19...
You know what else is just occurring to me now? The short series, TOS was 3 seasons. Yeah. Enterprise was 4. Yeah. Discovery's 4 so far. Yeah. Say what you will.
They go to the mirror universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a death knell.
Now, I think it's pretty likely, and now I hope I'm wrong, it's pretty likely that both Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds eventually go there, I think. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
I'm kind of surprised that Lower Decks hasn't touched on. Well, I guess they've
joked about it.
To it. Yeah, they joke about everything.
Yeah, they joke about it.
But I'm kind of surprised they haven't done it.
I'm glad they haven't needed it.
I wonder what their take will be, if they'll do it straight or if they'll do sort of a fourth wall. Hey, this is kind of a ridiculous idea thing. Their takes on the movies have been really like surprisingly. It shouldn't be surprising at this point. The show's excellent, but like there's more to it. There's a depth there that you wouldn't you definitely wouldn't expect looking at trailers for the show or anything like that. Like
at the end every episode feels like a Star Trek episode.
And there's like a really deep understanding and reflection to keep with the mirror universe of like what the mainline shows are. Yeah. And it also knows what it is. Like it's not.
It knows it's kind of meta and can poke fun at like the world in general.
Which does mean that like the writers of that show clearly know their stuff too.
Oh yeah,
like they get what they're doing, and I wonder what their take on the mirror universe will be when it does seem kind of inevitable they're going to do it, right?
It's really interesting.
They could do it JJ style, like they're poking fun of the mirror universes when they kind of go into the movie and like pretend they're in the JJ movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. They kind of do that. That's true. Okay, but this provokes for me a question that I always wonder about these episodes, which is like the mirror universe has kind of become a tradition for Star Trek to touch on occasionally or vigorously in the case of some series. But like, what's the if we were going to try and boil down what the point of doing mirror universe episodes is, like, what's it's like there's runs of the comics right now where Picard is trying to like take over everything for some bizarre set of reasons, right?
Oh yeah, they do a whole jacked Picard.
They got a whole jacked like Picard with like
jacked Picard.
Oh, he's ripped. He's just
sleeves.
a brick shithouse old Picard in the mirror.
Just rip the sleeves off of your
never wears sleeves.
How they rock it.
When did these supposed to
fashions?
Is it like during TNG years, or
it's more like during Voyager era. I think
Rip
it's like
Picard
Janeway, the Voyager's back.
Interesting.
Like I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but like they've done a lot.
He's got a goatee, of course.
Naturally,
he does have a goatee. Yeah,
he should have a full lustrous head of hair.
I have him in HeroClix for him. So
I guess the argument is, what is the?
I'll answer your question,
sir.
Because I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something I was about to bring up. You've read my mind again. This is the plain simple Tailors effect. I think, if anything, you're going to boil some sort of meaning out of the mirror universe. It's just that it's a cautionary tale. And it's sort of trying to, like, to embrace the good option and that sort of thing. Because, you can snowball out of control with bad decisions and the bad option. And, yeah, I think it's just a cautionary tale at its best. Like I say, I think, like you were saying, DS9 and Discovery kind of run it in the ground, but like so especially the way Enterprise handles it, where they're just like they pinpoint all these very concrete historical moments where people made an either or decision the wrong way, and how that has lasting and just echoing effects. Well, echoing and lasting are the same thing. More like widening effects and echoing effects.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I can get out of it, and that's me being generous, I think.
What do you think, Scott?
I don't know. I think it's a chance for the writers to play a little bit.
That's more likely the truth.
Yeah,
like that's why I think I was being generous. I just think
they're
playing with their toys.
They definitely are off format. To keep going back to that, like it's not part of the overall like story that they're trying to tell within the thing. TNG is about exploration and diplomacy after it's been explored. TOS is just straight up exploration. DS9 is how do you stick around when you have to deal with the consequences. The Mirror Universe doesn't fit into any of that. Like it's not part of like the thesis of any of these shows.
Yeah, exactly. And so to me, one of the really interesting pieces about the Mirror Universe episodes is that while I agree with everything you guys are saying about it, that there's like this sort of cautionary tale element to it, and that it's a way to kind of exercise a total kind of what if like freedom with the characters and the cast, the stable of actors that you're using and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it also gets, and maybe this is appealing back to Davin's notion of entanglement from earlier, that there's a way in which the Mirror Universe episodes end up, despite themselves, because you have people who are interested in like historical development and like technical progress and diplomacy and exploration, they end up getting subordinated to this logic of continuity. That is one of the features of Trek episodes, right? Like that self-referential quality where after the original series, almost every episode of every subsequent series has at least a singularly valent or a bi or multivalent set of references in every episode to other episodes of Star Trek.
It's also like determinist theory, right? Well, it's like no matter what you choose, this is what's going to happen anyway. No matter what you choose, there's going to be a Terok Nor.
Your universe,
like,
just,
yeah.
That's interesting.
But it also makes sense too with the entanglement thing.
Yeah.
One of the things
that, to answer your question, you're like, well, why are they so much alike then? How can you do these very different decisions and they end up the same? that's kind of that mirror entanglement. Like maybe there's like the two universes that are entangled are super alike, no matter what they choose, almost determinist in that way.
Oh, they obviously are.
But obviously are. But maybe but other entangled ones would be like that as well.
Well, and it is a feature of entangled systems that in, I think, almost every described entangled particle pair I've ever heard described, or like how that would work, if one is in an upspin, the other one will register a downspin. And that's how you can determine the state of the first particle, because this guy registers a downspin, and they're always going to be opposite to each other. So I can see your point there. Yeah, like if you can take it to that macro level, then it does make a kind of argument for continuity there. But again, I wonder if that
one of the like features that they've done a pretty good job of across multiple series is exactly what you're talking about, Dave. Like the world building within the mirror universe, whether that's Kirk going over, whether that's Jonathan Archer. Actually, nobody goes over there. It's just fully in the mirror universe.
That's why I think it works better, actually.
Yeah, well, there's a lot that they did.
So it's not a night in King Arthur's court,
Yeah. But within DS9 too, and to an extent within Discovery too, you'd even give them credit for this. Like there is a consistent like view of the Terran Empire and agony chambers and like sort of those markers, goatees for better or worse. Like there's those markers that consistently are there in the mirror universe. Across the different series.
Discovery made the agony chambers look scary. I'll give that scene was there. But,
the budget was there for it.
Yeah, the budget was.
That's a good point.
What they did with it is a different story, but Discovery looks good for the most part. Shiny.
Yeah, shiny.
Yeah, very shiny.
Quite shiny. And I'm glad you brought up What If State, because people have brought that up to me before. I'm like, I don't like the mirror universe. They're like, well, do you like Marvel What Ifs? I'm like, yeah, I love them. But the Marvel What Ifs, they don't keep going back to the well. They keep telling new stories in new What If universes, rather than keep going back to the same one. Like, what if all these Star Trek mirror universes were like TOS had its mirror universe, DS9 has the universe that it taps into, but they're all different ones, and then the Enterprise has a universe that it taps into. So you can tell different stories and not keep going back to this
It's an entire universe. You could tell different stories within it. But touching on that, you remember Parallels from TNG season 7? It's where Worf's coming home in the shuttle.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Is that a mirror universe episode? What? Would you think that's a mirror universe episode? He's sort of hopping around a bunch of different universes.
Oh God, yeah, that's.
And then they all collide at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say honestly,
I thought he was like time shifting.
Well, he was universe shifting.
I feel like it's more like it's like an ontological
parallel universes. Yeah.
It's like he's just like it's more like the revolving door in the Royale. He's just like going around and around and around, and every time he goes around, it's like a different universe, or a different set of possibilities. Yeah.
12th. I won and brought great glory.
Mm-hmm.
That's I wouldn't think of it as a mirror universe, but I wonder.
It almost argues against that quantum entangle theory we're going against. Now it's like he has access to several.
We never really see the Terrans in it, though.
But I don't think it is.
It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be that these two are very closely related. You can beam from one to the other. But then there's also like quantum theory that is kind of out there today.
Well, I think it's important to point out, right? Like, because TNG doesn't touch the mirror universe at all, but when other universes or realities show up, what we tend to see is that like crazy multiplicity on display, right? When you think about like, is it yesterday's Enterprise or another one where all of those versions of the Enterprise show up, and in one, like Riker doesn't want to go parallels, like that kind of like just insane, uncontrollable multiplicity, which I would call kaleidoscopic, right? In the sense that it's just like
back to the kaleidoscope. Dave back loves to the kaleidoscope.
It is my philosophical muse,
and pretty.
is
Pretty
sometimes
colors and shapes. Look at all the shapes and
Think about
colors.
it. You can look at it.
Can you imagine kaleidoscope binoculars? I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Woo!
I
Blow
can't
the top of your
imagine.
head with it up. So, a three-dimensional kaleidoscope is what I'm talking about,
Oh my! A holodeck.
if you will. But I guess what I'm arguing about is that, like, there is that sense of like the total multiplicity of possibilities. But one of the things about the mirror universe, and that it's subordinated in some sense, or subjected at least, to that kind of consistency that we see in world building in the regular universe, but in an opposite sense, is that there is a kind of like unique relationship between these two universes, as opposed to some of the other ones where there's just varieties of what's possible.
Mhm.
Like as in yesterday's Enterprise, where that calls into being a whole different history in the same universe. In TNG, you tend to see a whole bunch of different possible histories presented, but none of them are the mirror universe in any moment, right? So
Yeah,
there's
okay,
some
it doesn't break the entanglement theory.
Plus, you'd have to throw out the whole JJ verse if you did that.
We can do that.
It's like souls.
we're killing two birds with one stone.
It's at this moment, Davin stands up and walks away and says, "My work here is
No.
done."
I can live with it. I can live with it. Well,
Right.
anything else? Do you want to take us back to October 6th, 1967?
You looked up the date? Was it a season?
I think it was October
October
7th.
6th?
October 7th, was it?
The day that shall live in loop for me.
No, October 6th. I was correct.
Where did it show up in
Dang.
the season? That's pretty early.
Episode 4, season 2.
Wow.
Something
Yeah,
like
season 1.
Yeah.
One of the rare post season 1 TOSs that really stands out.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's not a lot good in season 3.
Season 1's excellent. Season 2 obviously has its moments. Season 3's got Spock's brain.
Yeah.
oh God, Spock's brain. Talk about an episode which should have taken place in an alternate universe.
Where Spock has no brain. So it's actually called Spock's Empty Cranium.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a good episode.
I made more
Well,
room for tuna.
Well, I think we covered it pretty well, fellas. Do you have any closing statements on your Scottlemental there, Mr. Scott?
Are you intending to beam out through your sketchy transporter again?
Well, it's the only way to get home.
Shuttle like around the sun 3 or 4 times.
But if
no,
we win,
that'll take you back in time.
but
That's
if we
not
win a
the
few
same.
Batleth tournaments on the way home, then that's good
Then
too.
you know you're.
Hey,
Hey, right?
pick up a gig or two, it'd be great.
Maybe do a couple more dates on our tour.
Oh man, go back to Galore Decor and see how it
Go
works
back
out
to
this
Galore
summer.
Decor. Yeah. They said to never come back.
They
Yeah.
did. Which means here they'll welcome us with open arms and transmission.